Alright, so a lot of people say they struggle to make beats because they don't have a lot of VST instruments or their CPU just can't really handle them. So today I'm going to show you how to make a full beat from scratch without using them. But before we get into it, I want to let you know that this is your last chance to join the early access list for my new Divine bundle. It's a collection of 10 brand new kits I've been working on for months now, including drums, 808s, violin phrases, vocal phrases, a one-shot kit, MIDI files, and loads more. The list essentially gets you early access to the bundle at a much cheaper price, plus some crazy bonuses, so definitely don't miss out on this one. The link to it will be in the description, but yeah, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so there's a couple different ways you can make beats without using VST instruments. But for this one, I wanted to show you how to do it from scratch. And the way that you can do it is with one-shots. So for example, if you look in my new Divine bundle, which is looking crazy by the way, we have a ton of different sounds in here, which you've probably seen me using in loads of videos by now. But now that it's arranged properly with the colors and the artwork, it's just looking extra sick. I am going to dive deeper into the kit in another video, but for this one, I want to focus on one-shots and phrases. And if I open the one-shot kit, you can see the split into different categories, like bass one-shots, bells, guitar, key, leads, just everything you need for making beats. So for example, if I go into keys, you can see everything's tuned to C already. And we've got different styles of keys. Now the beauty of one-shots is you can just drag them straight in without opening any VST, so it's hardly using any of your CPU. Now what I like to do when I bring in a one-shot is just go to the envelope settings, I turn on the envelope, and I bring everything down except for the hold, because now the note's only going to play for as long as I hold it. You could bring up the attack a little bit, and that's just going to take it a little bit longer to get to its maximum volume, so it's a bit like a fade in. You could also bring up the release a bit, and that's just going to keep the note playing a bit once you let go of it. So for example, if it was all the way up here, I'd just press it once and you can hear the tail of it. So you can use this to control the sound and shape it how you want. So let's just use a little bit of release about there. And then for the mode, I like to keep it on auto because I can still use all of the keys, but it doesn't sound too stretched the higher I go. So for example, if I play the C note 2 octaves up, the note's shorter because it's higher in pitch, and that's just how stretching works. But some people like to set this to stretch, and I just think that messes the quality too much. So this will stretch the higher notes so that the note length is the same no matter where you play it. But I think it stretches it too much and it just doesn't sound right. Like, that just sounds horrible, it's unnatural. So I just hold Alt and click to reset that. We'll keep it on auto. So let's just start building a melody. I will try a different key, we'll use this old one. So we could start off with that. Let's test this. Quite like this melody. That'll give us a nice foundation, and all I'm doing here is just creating chords. So if you look, a normal F sharp minor chord would look like this, but I've just brought the middle note down and I've pitched it up an octave, and then I was kind of just going by ear to see which notes worked with it. And then because I now want something dark, I've used semitones, which is basically just one note apart. But we could also pitch this whole thing down a bit. So let's say go down to D sharp, and then we can randomize the velocity. So let's just add to this a bit. I could take the bass notes, copy them down an octave. So I could either add a top line with the piano, or I could pick a different one-shot. And once you've got a melody that you like, you can always just flick through other one-shots as well. So if you're using a mouse, for example, you could just click the mouse wheel, and that will change it. This one sounds nice. So this acoustic one, for example, is just a real guitar that was recorded and then mixed, so you don't have to do the hard work. I do like the sound of these keys for this one. So I can use that as one layer, and then let's copy that so it's got the same settings. And I'm thinking we could layer that with a pad, like even this one. And what I could do from here is just take the main notes from the chords. So for example, those, and then these 3 and these 3. Could maybe pitch these up. Let's try the others though. Like this one sounds sick. Could also try it down an octave. Like I think it might work better there. We'll just randomize that a bit, and then I'm just gonna add an EQ to that pad, cut out some of the lows. Maybe even some of the highs. And then with the keys, let's add some halftime. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. Alright, so that's gonna give me a good foundation, but I wanna show you a couple more tricks for one-shots. So one thing that I like to do is use something like a lead. I could take this one, for example. Now, another sick thing about using one-shots is slide notes. So kind of like you do with 808s, you can actually do that with instruments too. For example, I could add a note here and here, so it fits the chord. But I could turn this one into a slide note, and then we'll just extend that and we'll bring this back. Or I could make the slide longer. Like, it just gives you an interesting sound. And then we could switch it up here. So let's stretch this one. I will make this one a slide note too. Yeah, there we go. Let's try this orbit one. I like this one. So that might fit the vibe better. Quite dark. I'm actually going to take the melody and copy it over because I want a little bit of variation. And we could just change this bit to something like that. Or what we could actually do is use one of the phrases. So for example, if I go to the violin phrases, we have the dry ones which don't have reverb, and then the wet ones which are more processed. So I'm just going to bring the pattern here and we'll find one that works. I think we could try this one, and this one's in D minor and it's at 140 BPM. So I'm just going to go fit to tempo, type in the BPM 140, set it to stretch, and we'll just pitch it at 1. Also bring the volume down a bit. And then I've just got the lead muted for now. Like, that phrase just sounds so sick. Just needs to blend in a bit more. So usually when I want things to blend in, you could check the EQ and you can see where it's mostly hitting. So it's around this region. So maybe in the piano, we could duck that a bit. Alright, what I'm thinking of doing now is just taking everything. So I'll have one section without the violin and one with. Now I'm just going to render the master and see if we can flip this. So I'm going to go ahead and reverse it. I'll also set that to generic bleeding so there's no clicks. Things reversed just always sound so cold. Let's see what it's like. Pitch down another one. Yeah, maybe there. Now to chop it, usually I'll just play it and then click on some of the beats to see which ones work together. So one that I've got in mind is to play it from here. Then repeat that and go here. Like, that sounds cold. So yeah, let's try that. So I'm just going to chop it by bars. So I need this section, copy that over. Still sounds hard. Okay, so I'm going to render that one section just so we've got it as its own file. Alright, now that I've got this, sometimes what I like to do is actually double time it. So I'll just take this and stretch it. Yeah, just so it's literally twice as fast. Set that to generic. And then repeat that. And you know what, I'm thinking I could maybe pitch it back up one. Yeah, I prefer it there. And then it can go to the violin. Like, that could sound hard. I think here we could add another layer of keys. We'll just use the same one, but without halftime. And then this could just come up here, just a simple change. Alright, so we've got that simple melody, then this. And then I'm thinking this can come back in. And now maybe we could take a vocal phrase. So this one's already in D sharp minor, so we'll try this one. Like, that sounds crazy. I'm just going to add an EQ and just filter it a bit. And then I'm going to use Fruity Panomatic. I've got the LFO on pan and we'll bring the speed up a bit. And now it's going to go between both ears. Alright, next I'm going to take all of the melodic stuff we have. So it's just these three. I'm just holding control, clicking and dragging over them. And then I'm going to right click on an empty insert like 10 and select route to this track only. And now in this one, we could add something like kickstart, or you could use gross beat if you don't have this. It's actually a free version of this and it's quite light, so you could use it. And this is just going to make it a bit more bouncy, especially in these parts. Yeah, man. So yeah, just like that, we've made a hard melody without any VST instruments. So let's go ahead and get some drums in. And of course, we're going to use the Chaos drum kit. This is the one I've been using in all my recent videos. Let's just find some interesting sounds. I like this one. And I have a whole new hi-hat MIDI kit, but I also have some hi-hat MIDIs in the drum kit. So we could use some of these. Let's see which one sounds good. Might be a bit too much. Try the Secrets one. Like, I think this one just fits the bounce better. But then I'm gonna take these rolls at the end and we'll use a different counter snare. I like using these. And then yeah, let's just paste that roll back in. Just add in a couple extra notes as well. Yeah, the ending just sounds mad. And then what I'm thinking is I could take another one, like this Drillings one, I really like that. And I'm gonna copy and paste the main one, but then I'm just gonna swap them around. So for example, in the new one, I'll take out the first three, but then in these, I'll take out the second three. And then just alternate some of them like that. And then maybe in this section, we'll just keep them all in there. All right, let's get a snare in as well. So in the snares, there's tons of sounds, but I think we could use this whack one. Yeah, there we go. Let's just pitch it up one though. You know what? I kind of like this shipment snare as well. Alright, let's get everyone's favorite sound in, the 808. And really the way I pick my sound is to first just set it up so I've got everything down, and then I'll just put the root note and see which one works the best. I'm thinking something like that, or this. So just simple notes to start with, and then we could find some slides. And then just one more here. I think we could add two more here and just bring the velocity up. So I can just copy this over and I'll just change a few things. Pitch this up an octave, or just into itself. I think I changed my mind with the 808 like 10 times. Now I'm thinking I should use this backward one. But this sounds a bit more modern. Alright, I think I'm happy with that one now. So next thing to add is just on Percs, and a couple easy things to add are just these fills. So I can just drag that straight in and we could just drag that back. And then at the end, yeah, those fills just save a bit of time. And because I don't want to overdo it, I'm just going to add one more thing. It's going to be a drum fill. We could use this one. I actually made this in a tutorial, or I could try something like this. Yeah, I think it needed that, the simpler one. And then I can take the gunshot and copy that one over. And then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and split the drums. So I'm thinking we could just start like this. Yeah, bring the keys in. And then the violin. Maybe I could bring a counter snare in there. And then for the drop, I'm actually gonna take the vocals out. Take a kick out as well. Right, then we'll copy this over. We'll bring the keys in here. Actually, yeah, what we can do is just move this over and we'll have a bit of a shorter verse. And then if I go to my drum kit again, we could take a sub bass. So I'm going to use the Roy the sub bass and just make the pattern really simple. Just the root note and then just have it cut here. Just going to break it up a bit. And of course, we've got to get the camera flash for the drop. Works every time. And then same again for this section, which is going to be the hook. So we just got the violin there, and then a vocal phrase. So this whole thing can be the hook, and then I could just copy that over. Alright, so let's have a listen from the beginning. Violin sounds crazy. yeah, we're actually starting with the verse in this one. Then the keys come in. A new 808 pattern. I didn't want to add too many slides. I didn't really think it needed it. Then a bridge here. So just a short verse. So yeah, if you're feeling the sounds I've been using, make sure you click the link in the description. If you want to see me cook up more dark UK drill, click up here. Or for 50 Cent, Digga D type beats, click up here.